it's another side that like wants to take more, wants to go that one more round, because like going that one more round when you don't think you can, that's what makes all the difference in your life. You know what I mean?
Hello, and welcome to another episode of One More Round, the Rocky Series podcast. I'm your host, and with me today on this lovely hour change spring morning, Katie and Kyle. How you guys doing this morning?
Good morning. I had technical difficulties this morning. Aside from that, I'm well.
Good. You look well.
I'm actually bitter and resentful. I don't like that an hour of my weekend has been taken from me.
The trade-off is more
every
light.
hour is precious.
You're right.
You know what? In the summertime, even without the time change, it would get dark here at 10:30 at night. So it's like adding an extra hour in the evening. I'm like, why do we do this?
Oh yeah, you guys, you're pretty far north, aren't you, Kyle? Yeah.
It is weird. I don't know why we don't just split the difference. Meaning, like this year, just go forward half an hour, and that's it. Then we just never change it again. Like just split the difference, and then it's just done. Because it all averages out anyways. We keep going back and forth. So
they keep having conversations about it, like in Congress and stuff. But I find it's just annoying because some places don't do it.
That's
some
right.
places, it's a mass. It's a cluster.
You have to all be in unison.
Yeah,
we've actually got a big show today. Not a lot of emails, and no emails. Let me make that clear. There's no emails.
Okay.
But we do have a couple of YouTube comments. But we do have a lot of footage to get through today. And I'm really excited to share this with you guys. Here's a tease. The video I have today, even if we get through it today, we might not even get through it today. There's so much. The video I have today is all Workprint.
Ooh, excited for me. This is like all brand new to me.
But let's go over the YouTube comments first, Katie.
Eccentric Views says, I just want to say something derogatory. This episode was great. Winky face with the tongue out. I love it. I love it. We will stop here to talk about the fan video. Oh, that was your stage direction.
That was the show notes. Good job, Katie.
It wasn't in another color or italicized or anything.
Ryan. Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, Ryan, who does everything. How could you? I know.
Sorry.
I was going to show up here having done zero work whatsoever and then be like, you should have done it this way, Ryan.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Now, you both have seen the video I'm referring to. So, Eccentric Views, who has this channel, of course, it's Gino, our favorite Italian Australian Gino. He has a YouTube channel called Eccentric Views. So, when he comments on our YouTube channel, that's, of course, he's using his YouTube channel to comment, but it's Gino. And remember, he said he was going to make us a fan video, or just like he's a fan of our show and he wanted to make a love letter to us in a video. Well, he did. So on the show notes for this episode, I'm going to put the link to his video if you haven't seen it yet. So if you're listening to this episode and you I guess you're a fan of our show because you listen to us, I'm going to link Gino's video that he did that you may have missed, because I thought it was a really nice and sweet gesture. The fact that he took any effort, like we talked about before, Kyle's mentioned that emails are tough to write. Can you imagine creating a fan video for us? That I just thought it was very sweet. What was your guys' thought on his video?
Well, first of all, yes, extremely sweet. Second of all, it was awesome. All the little insider things like the black and because we talked about on the show, Kyle brought up, Ryan, maybe you should, at the end of season 5, do the black and white measure of a man. And Gino incorporated that into the video. He hit all the right notes.
Yeah, it was awesome. Kyle?
Oh yeah, it was a really well done video. Like you said, I've never seen Gino before that time. Maybe he's on his channel. You can see him. I hadn't been on there before. But it's always cool to put like a face to the name, and I really appreciate the video. Obviously, like it was very kind and very charitable. So, and very well done. Yeah, Gino's a cool guy, and he educated me on the Italian community down under.
He's not bad for an Italian kid. He's not bad looking. So.
Yeah. We didn't see his butt in the video. We can't judge his butt if it's good or not. I'm gonna assume it is, though.
Do you know which city should I visit in Australia that has the most Italians?
Yeah, Australia is a beautiful country or / continent. I've been there before. I loved it. Beautiful people.
I'd love to go to Australia. It's
very far away.
Yeah, I don't have enough vacation time that like I could actually go down there and enjoy myself and come back up here, especially with kids. But it is on my bucket list of places I want to visit eventually.
I lucked out just because obviously Navy was one of our port visits. Yeah. But that's the one good thing about the Navy. A lot of sacrifices I've made being in the military, but I've seen the world legit. I'm going to write down all the countries I've been to one day, but I've been to a lot. I've circled the world. It's pretty crazy.
Have you seen those world maps, or sometimes it's even a globe, where you scratch off or color in the countries you've been to?
Oh, okay. I understand the concept, but
you should. If you've been, I think you should do that.
Yeah, it's like kind of the rage on the map porn subreddit. People are highlighting in where they've traveled.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. It's awesome. All the places I've been to more or less touch the ocean. So
it still counts. The only thing I don't count is if you've been to the airport.
Airport, same. If you didn't leave the airport,
you have to step on the land. That's fair. Mm-hmm. No, I agree. Okay. Yeah, Qatar. That was the last foreign place I've been to was Qatar. Okay.
So Ryan, are you you're not a flat earther then? Having gone around the globe, you've seen the edge. You could say for sure we're not on a flat disc.
He didn't fall off, did he?
That's true. Maybe he kind of just turned around near the edge. I don't know.
Yeah.
All I'll say is I can't confirm or deny what I've experienced in the military. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Okay.
We did get one email, but this is a very short email, but it's a picture email, and I'm going to share it for you, Katie. It's from Simon. I do a Rambo podcast, and he was actually my guest on the last Rambo podcast I did. So if you want to check it out, it's a long road. We're rebooting that podcast. It's a long road, the Rambo series podcast. Katie, do you have something to say about Simon?
I just wanted to say it was an excellent episode. I listened to it this morning.
Oh, yeah. Simon was great. Great stories. Mm-hmm. And we really have to watch his film. Now we're really beholden to watch his
100%.
film. Yeah. Anyways, great stuff, Simon. So he's a long-time listener of the show, long-time supporter. It was really nice to meet him in person on the episode via FaceTime. But he said this: "Hi there. I'm sure Katie could find a usage for this item. Keep up the good work. All the best, Simon." So this is what he's referring to. Oh,
I don't know. There's all sorts of things going through my head as to what this could be.
So this is Planet Hollywood's frozen Sylvester Stallone's body from Demolition Man is up for auction. So this is real. So you remember that scene in Demolition Man when he was, what do you call it, cryogenically frozen in the movie? That wasn't Sly, obviously, in that case. But they did a really good model sculpture of Sly. So when they filled it up with the goop, that's his body there. Katie, would you like to have that? Are you going to put an auction up for that, I should say?
For the low price of starting bid, $1,500, but estimates up to $6,000. I gotta say, I dig Sly's body. I don't want this. This is weird. It's awkward. I don't like any of this.
What's awkward about it?
The pose, I don't know. It is not sexy.
But if he's already in a sort of semi-spooning position for you. Like you could almost have him spooning you.
Yeah,
I was gonna say the knees are up too high though. I was trying to think his position is not the best for any activities you want to do with him. Like smuggling, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would have otherwise thought it would be impossible to make him unsexy, this era of Sly. But boy, they managed to do it.
I like his hands. Both of his hands are out. They could be cupping your breasts a little bit, but
Jesus
they're really
Christ.
They're
really very far away.
I was going to say they're far apart, so you have to go back and forth.
Yeah.
I love it. Anyways, if I had money, I wouldn't even have to say like Elon Musk's type, but just if I was like a multi-millionaire, billionaire type person where literally my life is just buying things just because I can, I would buy this in a heartbeat. I would just love to have this in my house. Check it out. I've got Sly sleeping in my bed type jokes or something. Like it would just be so much fun to have this thing. So yeah,
this is something we can crowdfund. we can crowdfund this to buy Katie
Simon concurs. Put that Patreon money to good use.
Oh yeah, we're about we're only short $5,000.
If I know Ryan, I could tell you this: he only does this for the money. He doesn't care about Rocky. He's just doing this for cash.
And Kyle's mom concurs that the video that Gino made is a very worthwhile
Hey, Mama Son, did you watch that during our show? You better not have stepped away from our show to watch that. That's rude, but otherwise, yeah. All right. So there you go. So we'll see if anyone buys that. If you buy it, let us know. That's fantastic that they're selling that. I think that's great.
You could really creep people out if it's life size. Yeah.
I don't need any help creeping people out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, I'm legit excited to show you guys the workers print because, it's so crazy how one of the biggest discussion points that we had on our show regarding the training montage with Rocky's son preparing for his bowling fight and Tommy Morrison was, what was the biggest issue we had with that? Do you recall? I'm not trying to lead the witness here, but what would you say one of the biggest issues was?
The time period?
Yeah,
that it
timeline. Because Robert fighting for his jacket interspersed with Tommy's rise in the ranks and his fight in the ring. It's shown, and no other way to show it. It's shown it's happening congruently. They're happening together. So we had to surmise that Tommy had 16 fights in 3 months or whatever that was. The workers print did not do it that way.
Wow. Okay. I'm very curious. But before you get too far down this line, Ryan, we do have another comment to read.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. My bad. You have that in front of you. My apologies. There's a tease. Unless people left our show. Stick around. Yeah. Okay.
Andy Grew says, how about if Adrian had been added into the Robert arc? When she says, you're losing us, there's not much of an us. It was really just Robert. It should have been more of an us. That's what I meant. I didn't want to see them break up. I just didn't buy the father-son, Mickey Rocky, mentor-mentee thing because there was such a little foundation for it. That's why I wish Sly had used Sage in Balboa, because when I think of the character, I think of Ventimiglia, simply because the writing for him was so much better. Sage deserved better writing from the old man. Thank you for clarifying that, Andy.
Sure. Yeah. You know what I love about Andy? He watches our show, but I don't know if he enjoys it.
Nice.
You guys
nice work,
no, that's a good point about Balboa and the writing. Yeah, you do. I think of Ventimiglia for other reasons too, but yeah.
What
she's talking about his role on the show Gilmore Girls. So she's
actually, I've not seen that, and really? I'm scared of it. I love him older. Like I like a man. I don't want a boy. You know
Honestly,
what I mean?
He looks like the same age. Like he looks pretty boyish anyway, especially in Balboa.
He does.
That's right.
He looks great, but he looks like a man now, like in the sense of he looks like he's in his 40s now.
40s. I mean, he's near 50, I think. And I like him now. Even in Balboa, he looks too young for me.
He's pretty young.
Yeah, makes sense.
Need to grow up a little bit.
Really young.
Yeah.
You watched This Is Us, I presume, with him?
Yes. Yeah. And I really like him in that.
Yeah, he really was excellent in that role. Like he really stole the show. Him and his counterpart, what was her name?
Mandy Moore?
Yeah, she was fantastic. Yeah. The whole cast was, I should say.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Andy, and thank you to all those who comment. We are missing our emails, but that's okay. That's okay. We did get the one from Simon. So if you have any more naked Sly photos that you want to send us for Kate, that's fine. Okay. So here we go. Here is the workers print. Like I said, it's been a couple of weeks since I made this file, so bear with me of what we see. So we're going to see scenes right now that were used in the montage, but now we're going to see them without the montage, like just as they were filmed. Like the workers print didn't do this montage the way we saw it in the theatrical cut. Okay, so for our audio listeners, right now we have a great shot of probably a sunrise in Philadelphia. We got the Rocky statue at the top of the steps, and we're going to see Rocky and Tommy running up the steps. There's no music. This is just them training, working out.
There you go, Tommy gun. Come on. Come on, Tommy gun. I beat the man. I don't believe it. You know you were so swift. Man, you know what I want? What's that? Man, I want to be a great fighter. Hey, like you used to be. Hey, listen, Mickey used to say.
Now, the part that we see, of course, in the montage is them running up with the music, the cartwheel. We mentioned, hey, it's funny that Tommy did a cartwheel, but now we're getting this extra little dialogue here, which it's just fantastic. There's so many scenes coming up here that are just, they explain a lot, and I just wish they didn't take it out, because what we're seeing here with Tommy that you'll see is it really fleshes out his beginning journey, how he felt about Rocky, how he felt about being trained by Rocky. It's actually a lot deeper, and it makes it more heartbreaking in a sense because of the start of it.
I want to be a great fighter like you used to be. He could have phrased that a little more in a more flattering way, but that's like saying you look good for your age.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I always like seeing extra clips and stuff. I did have the same reaction as Katie when he said when you used to be. He's not wrong, but yeah, you
technically
don't have to say everything you're thinking.
No, you don't. Now we'll listen to the dialogue. So this dialogue definitely was not in the theatrical cut, because at this point they've moved on to the montage. Now we're hearing the discussion they have beside the statue here.
Hey, listen, Mickey used to say, to be a great fighter, see, you gotta beat a great fighter, right? Hey, Rock. What's that? You know, when you were first starting out, how do you think I'd done against you? Me? Okay, you would have punched me to Pluto. Really? Come on, what? I lied to a juvenile. Hey, look, we gotta get the Pittsburgh before breakfast, too.
We gotta do what before breakfast?
Take a piss? Is that what he says?
I couldn't quite make out what that
was hard to make out. Let's go back a bit. I wouldn't mind hearing. He did say, Mickey used to say, to be the best, you've got to beat the best. That's
you have to be to be a good fighter, a great fighter, you have to beat a great fighter.
But do you see how this is contradictory a little bit? Rocky 3, they was handpicked.
Yeah.
So did he not view Rocky as a great fighter? It's interesting. Like, yes, his job was to protect him, to keep him winning. We understand that argument, but it's just interesting how Rocky in this world is now saying, Mickey used to say, to be a fighter, you got to beat a great fighter. Now, he ended up beating Clubber, yes.
But he beat Apollo. He beat a great fighter in Apollo. Yeah. So he earned his stripes as a great fighter. And then after that, when Mickey's set up those things to basically run his career out, because he should have stopped right after Apollo health-wise.
Right.
Yeah, you could argue by become, like he did become a great fighter. And then from then on, he just was like status quo.
Now, Donald does bring up a funny point. Sly took that from Ric Flair. Yeah, Ric Flair used to say, to be the man, you got to beat the man, because that was Ric Flair. He was the man. Like, so to be the man, you got to beat me, Ric Flair, the man. Yeah,
I thought he was Nature Boy.
Yeah, he was Nature Boy Ric Flair, but he was also the man. He was everything.
Oh, okay.
Me? Okay, you would have punched me to Pluto. Really? Come on, what? I lied to a juvenile. Hey, look, we gotta get the Pittsburgh before breakfast, too.
The piston something
before breakfast.
Get to maybe it's like a location they
might
need
be a
to
location.
Run.
We need to go somewhere before breakfast. What that is, that's what I mean. We got to get the piston. That's what it sounds like. We got to get the run in, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
So, all right, so now they're jogging, and we're getting. You'll see, obviously, the punching bag. We're getting into the non-music montage of them training.
But also, just really quick, there was so much in just this little scene. It's very Sly, or not. It's Rocky speaking. The way he speaks is so unique. Would I lie to a juvenile?
Yeah,
you're so
great point.
You're so swift. That's very selective wording, right?
Sly, regarding the Rocky dialogue, it's a part of him. Now, he really gets into that character. That's not how he talks, but we know with the Creed films, one of his conditions was that he wrote the dialogue for the Rocky character. So he liked Ryan Coogler's script. He thought, great story. Sure, I'll do it. But I think one of his conditions was he ghost wrote Rocky's voice, because he said, I'm sorry, nobody knows Rocky's voice but me. Like, I'll do your storyline, but it will be my dialogue. All right, so now they're jogging, and we're going to see some punch bag work here.
Keep it going. Beautiful. Oh, yeah. Now you got it. Okay, ready. Time. I do it for you.
Okay, so we are seeing... people are like, Ryan, you said Robert wasn't training. Yeah, Robert is training right now, but this isn't the Rise montage. Right now, this would have been prior to the montage, because this Workers Print has a montage. I actually posted on YouTube and on our Facebook page. So this Workers Print, the original montage was Tommy's Rise, but it actually occurs after Robert gets his jacket back. So what you're seeing now is the training sequence without a montage of just the storyline of Robert training while Tommy's training with Robert's dad. Now they're running down Italian Alley or Italy. What's it called? Is it?
What's
Italian
the little
alley?
Italy area, the Italian market?
So they're jogging. Of course, the people in the street are cheering. And I have to believe, these aren't paid extras. These are just people on the street and they're all cheering. They're legit cheering. I think this is just real crowd gathered cheering Sly and Tommy.
And Sly's talked about how, like, when he's in Philly, he's always like, these people believe that, like, Rocky's real.
Yeah, they'll call Rocky. Oh, Rocky! They'll call, and he loves it. I love that he loves it and he doesn't correct people. Like, he just lets Philly call him Rocky. Yeah.
Rocky's a better person than I'm not saying anything Sly wouldn't have said. I think he's said that before. Rocky is a better person.
He's a better person than me. The character.
Rocky has no guile. Rocky would never double cross you.
Mm-hmm.
No. He is a character to live up to. Of course, you can create a character more than what you are, so to speak. So Sly recognizes that he wishes that he could be more like the character that he created, for sure. But guess what? We're human. We're not Rocky. We're human.
Rocky has seriously ruined me for men.
Oh,
because that's what I want. I want Rocky.
It's true. I want Rocky too.
It must feel great having people call your name. Hey, listen. You just keep working, and you're going to get it too, you know? Okay? All right. Keep up. 19.
Well, there you go. New dialogue, a whole new scene. Tommy says, now, again, this is a little bit of art, life, and art, right? Because Tommy's saying, it must be weird having people call your name. And Sly/Rocky is saying, you keep working hard and doing the best you can. One day they'll call your name too, which could be a real nod to Tommy the boxer / maybe Tommy the actor or just Tommy the celebrity. So it's an interesting life and art situation here. Again, a scene that I wish they kept in the movie. That's a very 5 seconds. It would have been a nice little touch.
I would have been okay if that scene stayed in. It was just fine. It has the nostalgia running through that market. Just to comment on the scene, when Rocky was training and stuff, even past the first fight, it was never about people saying his name to him. He was about fighting. He was concentrated on that. And I feel like Tommy wanting that early in his career is like a curse in a sense. Like you don't get to a point where people call your name by wanting them to call your name, if that makes sense.
Yeah, right.
And things have to happen organically. You're trying to manufacture that, and I think you ruin it by trying to do that.
That was a good point. Yeah, that's interesting.
That's a good shot, though, where he is right now. He's doing a good push-up.
Yeah, good form.
Like, he's getting right down there for full range of motion. He isn't doing, like, a halfway push-up.
I would recommend his toes to be more straight. His feet should be more straight. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, good point. Hey, also, Donald's thinking that they said we've got to get to Pittsburgh.
Oh,
before breakfast.
Is Pittsburgh near there? Like enough? I know it's not. They're really going to run there, but
no, I don't think it's anywhere near
it's
there.
In the middle of the state. In Philly's on the coast. I would guess Pittsburgh is about 5 hours away from Philly.
So for our audio listeners, so Jimmy is training Robert. So he's got both Paulie and Jimmy helping Robert with his training here. So he's doing those knuckle push-ups.
10 more. 22.
It's extended now. We're seeing Robert with the medicine ball. All right, it's pretty straightforward. Now we got Tommy and Rocky fighting. Training with the punching bag.
Back and forth, side to side, get loose. Think about balance. Time. Hey. Time. You ain't got no balance, kid, all right? You're blowing your balance. You got to think about what you're doing. Hey, Jimmy, give me the string.
There you go.
Jimmy, what?
The string.
Yeah,
the string. Oh.
Did you catch what he said, though?
The balance. Yeah, you ain't got any balance.
He called him Jimmy.
Yeah.
Remember we talked about how Jimmy, by the character, whatever this, we know what's Jimmy Gambino is, the real life person. In the first film, he played Mikey. That's our whole joke. Here we have in the Workers Print, Sly/Rocky calls him Jimmy. Here we actually have it on print. He's referred to as Jimmy in the film. So is that Sly effing up a little bit, do you think?
Well, he's in the credits as Jimmy. And we had earlier, without the work print, we had thought
that was a joke. The joke was here's the thing. The reality is, all joking aside, the reality is it's supposed to be the same character from Rocky, the first film. We know that. It's just funny how he's still credited as Jimmy in the fifth film. Honestly, I think either Sly just forgets this guy's name was Mikey in the first film, but he's worked with Jimmy for a while. He just called him Jimmy, which happens all the time. You hear that, you watch bloopers, like your favorite comedy show, or whatever. They have bloopers. The actors will call the characters by their actors' names in those bloopers because they work with these people.
Yeah, they actually know them. Yeah,
they know them outside their characters of Dwight and Jim or from The Office.
You ain't got no balance, kid, all right? You're blowing your balance. You got to think about what you're doing. Hey, Jimmy, give me the string. Now, I had the same problem when I was coming up, you know? So Mickey did the string thing with me. You learned it from Marciano. The thing is like this. When you can take this string and you tie it to your feet and you can punch this, right, without breaking the string, and like Mick said, you'll be a very dangerous person, okay? Time. That's it, Jack. That's much better. I think. That's it. Balance.
Okay. So I can see to some degree, maybe why Sly cut some of this out, because we got the Mickey talk when they're running up the stairs. They have the Mickey talk again with the string. So maybe they felt too much Mickey. I have a theory why Rocky, the character, though, is doing this. I think he's a little nervous. I think he's nervous about training Tommy. So he's really relying on the only thing he knows about training is what he only had one trainer for a very short time, really, was Mickey. Because he didn't have any training. Remember, I asked you 10 years ago, you never helped me none. So he's never had any real help. So Mickey's the only one he can draw on.
The most touching scene in the movie was the Mickey flashback, or not the most touching, but a very touching.
No, I guess what I'm trying to say is I think for the viewer / Tommy's perspective, I wonder, because I think Tommy, remember, because he says in the car later in the film, I'm not you and you're not Mickey. Remember, that was the whole point. Stop trying to live your life backwards with me. Like even Tommy called him out on that when he drove away.
Yeah, but it makes more sense if more Mickey talk is in the movie. He could have also said, because for part of 3, like Apollo and Tony kind of trained him too.
Yeah, that's true.
He could have.
That would have been cool to say, yeah, Tony taught me this too.
Or even like you would think Tony would be there.
Yeah. Why do you think he's not? Is it just that he looked so much older?
He's a tough
Jim.
Yeah, I guess he has his own commitments. Yeah. Like Balboa, he's there, but maybe he's retired from Tough Jim, and then he just.
It is weird that he's.
Just because.
Why is Tony in Balboa? Where would he physically be living?
I think he just came over from LA.
Yeah. To help him.
Mm-hmm. He's probably retired. He's probably bored. And then Sly's like, hey, you come help me fight again? And he's, wow, this is stupid, but this is a change of scenery, so let's do this.
I ain't got shit else to do.
Actually, no, Tony always has an unwavering belief in Rocky. So, yeah, Rocky could beat this whippersnapper.
But why don't they have Tony in this more? Why is he just in the first scene, do you think?
It is weird. It is weird that the actor Tony Burton showed up on set, his roll call, showed up on set for the one, and for Apollo. Yeah. And that was like, that's it?
I know.
How much he got paid for that? Who knows?
I guess I would have loved to see Tony more. He does look noticeably older.
Yeah, he does look older. And isn't this funny? They showed that at the beginning of this film to tell the audience this is taking place right after Rocky 4. Like, this is the timeline we're on. But then they aged his son. Isn't that funny how they were so concerned about the continuity for part 5 to show you, hey, this scene is taking place literally the shower after the fight with Drago. Oh, is that cool? We're in that world. This is the moments after, which is a great idea. Like, we can get behind people aging. People age. We get it. So, oh, wow, we're here. Drago's in the other shower room just down the hallway. And 2 minutes later, your son's aged 10 years. Like, what? Why are you so concerned about one continuity thing and then you just blow it with the other
Good point. And the fashion. Like, we're very clearly in 1990 and not 1985
and the
or
soundtrack.
86, I guess it would be.
Again, Sly, all you had to do was not have the kid at the press conference and then say 5 years later.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you had to do. Where's the kid? I don't see the kid. Wait 5 years. We'll wait 5 years. Oh, wow. Okay.
And 9.
Batman shirt.
And 10. Come on, you can do it. That's it.
It couldn't have happened in 1986 because Batman didn't come out until 89.
89. No, this is literally 1989. Like, they're filming, like, it was filmed in 89 and released in 90. So yeah, he's literally wearing swag from that era. Me and Sage wearing the same shirt. I had a Batman shirt too. Look, we're the same age. Sage and I are, I think, exactly the same age.
Okay.
May he rest in peace. But yeah, he was like 15 when this film came out, and I was 15 too. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Bring it up. Yes.
That's pretty good, but you gotta.
Okay, now we've got Rocky talking to Tommy. More dialogue training that we didn't hear during the montage of the theatrical cut.
Move side to side, you know. You gotta keep moving like this. You gotta eat too much jabs, you know. You gotta have a lot of leather for lunch if you don't move this head around, huh? Okay. Side to lunch. You gotta mentalize. You see what I mean? If you see yourself doing good, you're gonna do good. It's like Mickey used to pound this into my head all the time. Side to side, side to side. Seesaw.
Third Mickey talk. It's not bad or good. I'm just saying now this is the third in 5 minutes of footage or whatever. We've got the third. Now Mickey always used to say, yeah, I saw you smile there, kid. Mentalize. You like that? Yeah.
Love it. And what was the is that what it was? I couldn't for breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, eat leather for breakfast or whatever. Because he keeps eating the jab, so you're gonna eat leather or whatever. Now we've got Jimmy working with his punching pads with the Robert. I think we see here Robert's punching power.
Like a windshield wiper, back and forth. That's it. Roll on go to the body, Tom, to the body.
So we're hearing the dialogue of Rocky talking to Tommy, but it was showing Robert for our listeners.
That's it. That's it.
Okay, we see this in the montage of when he goes down and when Rocky yells, "Tommy's got guns." We hear that in the theatrical montage.
Oh! Damn, you okay? Hey, Tommy, gun, you got some guns, don't you? Hey, can this kid hit or what? Hey, come on. The drinks is on me. This kid can really hit, huh? Hey, you look like you can cool.
Okay, that was the famous scene in the montage again when Rocky sprays Paulie with water, but I think it's Sly fooling around with Burt Young. So that laugh that Sly does there is not a Rocky laugh. That was out of character. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
And like Burt, he like looks genuinely.
Yeah, he looks genuinely surprised by that. It wasn't in the script. When they had their table read, it didn't say Rocky will now spray Paulie in the face. I think this is them fooling around. Watch that with that mindset. That it was just Sly fooling around.
This is on me. This kid can really hit, huh? Hey, you look like you can cool. Can this kid do it or what? There you go, come on.
So he recovered because this kid hit or what or whatever. I liked it. It was Sly laughing at the spray Burt in the face.
And he references drinks on him when we see later they go to the bar. They're at the bar together. And Tommy has milk.
It has milk. That's right.
That I didn't realize was milk this whole time.
I think now we'll see Robert's teach him a couple deadly punches.
So Ryan, you're saying you didn't remove any music from all of this is just movie scene.
These are movie scenes, and we're getting there. There is a training montage, but it happens after this sequence of events. The training montage of Tommy's rise plays out completely. It's 7 minutes long. It's a 7-minute montage of him rising through the ranks, which answers all of our queries about now the timeline can make sense because we can make it however long it needs to be because he's got his jacket back. He's beat up the bully. And they don't show Robert again. It's just Tommy rising through the ranks.
Do you know offhand how long the theatrical version montage is?
No, but I don't think it's even 7 minutes long, though. Well, actually, no, it's pretty long. It's because they do it in two parts almost. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It seems like they just, for time, cut a lot of things out and combined it and put all this in a montage.
Yeah.
Already, it seems... is not beneficial to the film, in my opinion.
So, Kyle, what do you think? What do you think about how they kept this workers' print version? Do you think that would have been better had they just shown the fight with Robert getting his jacket back, then kick into the rise? Does that make more sense theatrically, or do you like what they did in the theater?
I'm going to have to do something I don't want to do, but I think the way they did it was the right way. Even though,
theater?
Yeah, okay. Even though what you're saying is totally right about like the continuity. From that perspective only, the continuity thing, this one makes way more sense. However, I think there's value in showing the two things happening simultaneously.
They're showing that here. I agree with you. I know what you're saying. They are showing that here. It's just not done with the same maybe panache as the...
Yeah, exactly. The way the theater did it was good. I like the contrast that way. This is a little more slow. I don't really like the Sly dialogue with Tommy here, like what Mick used to say. I actually agree that he should talk about Mickey too much because that causes a problem, or at least it's referenced later. But I just think the delivery of the lines and it's just it wasn't working. Yeah, I'll decide the theater version.
Yeah. There you go.
That's not bad. It's not bad at all. His punch. If you were a teenager and you got hit in the face, that would probably lay you out.
Okay, now we're getting to Union King as on TV now. He's won the belt. He's now the new paper champion. And we're going to see an extended cut of Rocky and Tommy regarding this win, which we did touch on, but there's more to it. Because remember in the montage, we hear Tommy say, do you think I can ever do that? There's more to that conversation here with the Workers' Print.
Union Kane, the new heavyweight champion of the world. The end came suddenly with just 2 minutes and 41 seconds gone in the third round.
What do you think?
You're all surprised,
Well, I think that
surprised tonight here at the Civic
I like his belt. It's nice. It looks good, huh?
Okay. They're watching the fight. They've watched this championship fight on their pay-per-view or whatever they're watching on their TV. And Tommy asks, hey, Rocky, you're the ex-heavyweight champion of the world. What do you think of that fight? So we heard in the announcement there was that's a good trivia because I don't know if anyone knew that. It was Union King won it in the third round, won the belt. And they look very non-impressed. So Tommy, what did you think of the fight? And Rocky, who could never say anything derogatory, he's it's a pretty belt. I like the belt. It looks nice because he hated the fight.
Yeah.
He hates the fight.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't say it though. Mm-hmm. So the question Tom's going to ask now is, do you think I can do that? And we heard that in the original cut or the theatrical cut.
You think I have a chance at that? For you? Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You kidding? Hey, anybody with 2 hands and a heartbeat, they got a chance. Time. So come on, time for you to hit the matches because tomorrow you're going to start just where I started, all right?
Okay, so did you catch that? So this is interesting.
Oh, this is right before the church fight.
That's right. That's right. I really wish they kept this because they make it very clear. We see it, but it's cool that he's saying, we're going to start where I started tomorrow. We've seen the training, but now it's Tommy's first fight under Rocky's tutelage.
Mm-hmm. It does make more sense. Yeah, this just makes more sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Imagine what's going through Tommy's head when he's struggling against whoever that guy is at the church fight. Last night, I thought, hey, maybe I got a chance to beat this world champion. And then I'm fighting this like shitty low-level club fight and I'm struggling. That's like a back to reality wake-up call.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could almost argue it ties in with him asking Rocky.
Yeah.
Maybe he's nervous already. Do you even think what I'm doing now is like, can I even get there to begin with? Are we wasting time now? Maybe he's not fishing for a compliment for Rocky. Maybe he's actually doesn't even know he can believe himself right now.
That's a good point because in the theatrical version, it makes it seem like he's already had several fights given the montage when he asks that. Like at least me, I thought he had already had several fights when he asked that question. And so that's why I was critical of Rocky's response.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the response doesn't seem as weird now. He's just it's more of a calm down. Like you'll be fine. You've got a heartbeat. You got 2 fists. Mm-hmm. You got a fighter's chance. So tomorrow you're going to start where I started. We're starting at the beginning now. There's a big scene coming up here, guys. Which again, I really wish they kept. Check it out.
Is that right? I think it is. They will tackle that Kane.
So for our audio listeners, Rocky turns off the TV. Tommy's going to go ready for bed. Paulie fell asleep during that 3-round fight.
Fell asleep is one way to put that. Yeah.
How many beers are sitting on the end table?
Yeah. But I think it's also Paulie showing you his interest about this fight.
Good point.
Like it means nothing to him because he sees it for the farce it is. He couldn't even be bothered to watch it. It's a farce of a fight.
Good night, Rock. Hey, Rock. I want to thank you for giving me this chance. I really appreciate it.
Hey, home team, man. Yo, Tommy, you're going to do great. Like,
I'll see you in the morning.
Did Paulie hear that?
Yes. yeah, of course, Rocky's trying to whisper because he thinks Paulie's like out cold. So he's trying to be respectful to Paulie being knocked out, drunk. And he's whispering, home team win. But I really like Tommy's acting here. I thought he did a great job because he's showing a lot of self-doubt. Even after the home team, hey, Tom, you're gonna do great. Rocky trying to be lively and positive. And Tommy's, yeah, okay, thanks. You can tell he's either very nervous or very full of self-doubt, but good job by Tommy, I think, acting that self-doubt out. He really got crapped on for his acting in this film, and I don't know if it's worth, especially scenes like this. I wish they kept that in, but he thanked Rocky, which was nice, for the opportunity, because it shows here that he is thankful. There was a point that he was thankful. We know he turns to the dark side, but that's what makes that dark side turn even more impactful, is that there was a moment right here where he was humble, willing to learn and listen to Rocky, but then it turns to the dark side later. Now Rocky's looking at Paulie. So what did he pick up there?
Was it a cigar, maybe?
Was it a cigar ring? Is it those cigar rings? Is that what those
like
things
the
are?
Foil, maybe. I don't know. It looked like a ring, but
it looked like a ring. But don't cigars have rings on them? I'm not a cigar.
I think it's like a gold foil, or that's. I don't know. I thought maybe it was.
It's weird
because it's so dark. Yeah,
but it's weird that why would they Sly filmed and wrote that part in? Like, I'm going to pick this ring off Paulie, because they pan with the camera to follow it. So it's something, but I don't know what it is.
What kind of percent you getting from the kid?
Okay, what kind of percent? I know about these things. So right away, Paulie's asking. See, here's the interesting thing. Paulie recognizes. Remember, he always did. It's our ticket, Rock. It's our ticket. This is our ticket. And so he always recognizes Tommy has great potential. So he recognizes Tommy's ability to cause damage in the ring and go far. So he knows that. So now he's getting down to brass tacks. He's, hey, what have you and Tommy talked about regarding when this guy starts rising up? Have you talked about money?
Because there's a fight tomorrow. Like the first, There's
a cut. There's going to be a cut. Whether it's $100 for the winner, you get 20 of it. What's your percentage? What do you think his answer is? Any guesses?
It don't matter. Something
I'm going to say like 0. That's my guess is 0.
Let's see how close you guys are here. Yeah.
Not very much struggle.
Yeah, well, he's going to take care of me, when he starts to move up. We're going to take care of each other, right?
Did he say 1 or none?
He said nothing. And then Paulie goes, that nothing isn't very much. And Rocky's, he's a nice person because I'm a nice person.
What did Rocky say? I didn't catch it. Did he say 1 or none? Or
I think he said nothing. I can go back just a bit.
He said nothing. Nothing.
Okay,
nothing.
that's fine.
Nothing.
That's fine.
Rocky isn't about that. We get that. And that's just a strength and a weakness. Paulie is. He doesn't mind busting people's thumbs, getting money from people. That's fine. So if Paulie was the manager of the money, he would go to Tommy, look, Rocky's training you. I've been assigned by him to talk to you about the finances. You're going to make money. What's his cut going to be for his trainer? This has to be talked about. And Tommy would have listened to Paulie, but no one's talked to Tommy. Rocky's just assuming Tommy's going to take care of him too, the way that Rocky did for Mickey.
Mm-hmm.
Rocky has like a childlike type of innocence. In these films, I'd say Rocky and Rocky Balboa and Creed does not. I find like the older Rocky knows what's going down and knows that
he's been burned.
Like Tommy would turn. Yeah. And I guess this experiences like this is what taught him.
I believe Paulie does say nothing isn't very much or something like that.
What kind of percent you getting from the kid? Not very much struggle.
Yeah, well, he's going to take care of me, when he starts to move up. We're going to take care of each other, right?
It's a complicated world, Rocco.
I don't think about it too much.
It's great. Man, it's such a freaking great scene. I love that scene. It's a complicated world, Rocco. What a great line.
Also, the way that he doesn't even have the energy to be his bombastic, argumentative self. He's just like
cold truth. It's just cold, hard truth.
But he knew the answer when he asked it. He knew that. I see what's happening. I just don't have the energy to fight.
I agree. And I just love how Rocky, even he heard Paulie. He's not, look, we tease him. He ain't stupid. He recognizes what Paulie's getting at. Mm-hmm. And Paulie says, it's a complicated world. I love Sly's acting, which does it with his hands. How Sly does it with his hands. And he goes, he says, I don't think about it too much. which is that I get it, Rocky. Ignorance is bliss, but it's going to catch up to you.
Yeah, he's putting his head in the sand, basically.
Yeah.
Even when Rocky was saying it sometimes you have an idea in your head, or you have an opinion of how something works, or thoughts about something, and then in your head it makes sense. But when you say it out loud to another person, even without them replying to you, you almost see it through their eyes when you're saying it out loud to them, and then you realize, oh, this is actually wrong or stupid or whatever. I feel like when Rocky said none and, oh, he'll take care of me. So I think Rocky, at least in my mind, I see it's messed up, but I don't know how to deal with it. I'm not going to face it. I'll just, assume it's going to be okay.
Also, great point that this is phenomenal acting. He gets shit on, for not being very good. And this was a good scene because even the way, you're right, the way he, nervously plays with his hands, but also his voice got really high pitched. Like it's almost like squeaked.
Yeah.
Like, because he was, it was like an unsure.
You caught me in a corner. Like,
yeah.
I'm almost embarrassed that I haven't talked about this and what do I do now? Yeah. I told you the Workers' Print, Rocky, the character is less stupid. It's more of a drama. I don't know.
Yeah. You're right.
Anyway, so now we've got Tommy sleeping. He's now sleeping in Robert's bed, literally and he's looking at the trophies, and he's down there in where Robert was sleeping.
I want to point something out.
Sure.
Much to my chagrin, if Paulie had his own place above the gym, he'd be there. He would be like sleeping on the couch there.
No, that's true. That's good evidence. Of course, we could go argue. He's just hanging up for the night to watch the paper.
Well, yeah,
I know.
Because Rocky puts a blanket over him, like this is a thing that happens often. It's funny. We didn't see this. We didn't in the theatrical version see him in the basement thereafter.
No, we haven't. This is the only time we see Tommy living where they told him he's going to live. Yeah.
But when he walks out the door, for some reason in that previous scene, my brain was like, oh, he's leaving. Like that was an exterior door. That was the basement door.
Yeah, he's going to the basement door.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Yeah, good call. Yeah. We'll just see Tommy in his head and we can speculate what he's thinking. The night before the fight, right? Pretty nerve-wracking. I would assume it's pretty nervous. He's looking up. Camera pans up. Here's the belt.
I told you why that belt's there.
That is a really weird. Why is the belt there? I mean, if anything, that's usually where you have like boys have a naked girl on their ceiling or something. Yeah, well, I don't know.
That's his drive. You could argue that's what he's driving for. Right?
That's why I mentioned why that.
I know. You didn't know this was on the Workers' Print.
Oh wow, the Workers' Print just also. Oh,
no, I cut it out. I cut it out there. It now segues. So the Workers' Print segues into the picture of Jesus the same way the first Rocky film does. And then it gets into the theatrical. It's the same thing. It goes to the whole fight, Frankie Fear talk, all that stuff happens. Now, we're not going to get through the whole thing because we're already nearing the hour mark of recording, but we'll start it. I just want you to hear now. So all this has happened. So now in your mind's eye, just pretend that's all kicked in, right? Tommy's won the fight. He's conquered his fear. It's the day after. He did it. He's on board with himself, you could argue. He was his own problem. Now he's found his strength. He's able to tackle Frankie Fear, and this music kicks in, and this training montage kicks in. That.
Slip and slide, back and forth. Feel like a machine that can't be stopped. Flip and dig, flip and dig. Keep on, come on, bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. Dig, dig, dig.
Now, a couple things. Okay. You might disagree with me. Maybe some of the listeners will disagree with me. And I agree with Kyle, what you're saying about, yes, as far as the Robert storyline goes, it's interesting to see, of course, the father-son dynamic. We get it. Robert should be being trained by his dad to beat the bully up. But for a first-time viewer, and even as a long-time viewer, watching Tommy beat that guy, and then hearing that Vince DiCola soundtrack comes, it's such a good soundtrack. I just love it. It's a callback to part 4. I love hearing the Rocky dig, all that stuff. Because in this moment, if you're a first-time viewer not knowing the ending of the film, again, it makes it more tragic. Because in this moment, you think, oh, man, this is just really another Rocky. Tommy's going to fight Union Kane. He's going to win the championship. Rocky and Tommy are going to be the new Mickey. Because it feels like that. This is very hopeful. You get this feeling, this rise is very like we're going somewhere with this. It almost feels like just like a Rocky film. In this moment, it feels like we're really going to have a real Rocky feeling fight between Union Kane and Tommy, which never happens. But that's what I don't know. I'm a little bit hyped right now watching this training montage. And Tommy Morrison himself working the bag. You get to see him just as that's his job as a real boxer. He's really handling the training really well. I don't know. Is it horrible that Vince Nicola's music is used here, or is it? What do you think, Katie?
I 100%. Well, hindsight's 2020.
Sure.
To your point, it feels like a Rocky. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
Rocky 4 was a mega hit, and this is supposed to have happened just after it, so it does make sense. Yeah, it feels more like a rise training montage. One of the biggest criticisms about Rocky 5 is the music, but that's a 2020. They could have wondered about using Vince DiCola for Rocky 4 because that was also a departure. So but it paid off. And so
because this soundtrack right now, like this music right now, does it age? It never, like you never get tired of it. You don't hear this go, oh, this is so 84. It just sounds good.
You're right. But you wouldn't have known that the 90s music would have aged poorly. You know what I mean? We have
it aged poorly so quickly.
Yeah, it did. It did. But Rocky 4 is my my favorite. It's my favorite. It's a lot of fans' favorites. Yeah. So I like it.
I'm gonna cast the dissenting vote.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Don't like it. Don't like that music there. I actually like that music in Rocky 4 though. Even though I'm not the biggest Rocky 4 fan, I actually like the Vince DiCola stuff. I feel like that track, and maybe it's because I watched Rocky 4 when I first heard it, of course. Bill Conti's stuff is instrumental and like a little more old school, old timey, classic type of stuff. Where it's like the Vince DiCola stuff is a little more modern, techie type of thing. And so when you see Ivan Drago trading in that advanced area, that music goes well with it. I feel like it's out of place here. That music doesn't belong in Mixed Gym. I would have preferred to hear the Bill Conti stuff there instead.
Oh, I would have also liked that. I would have also said yes to the Bill Conti music here instead.
I do want to say this is a worker's print. I don't know how these things work, but I would suspect, because this is not obviously the final cut or the final edit, of course, we've seen that this is a placeholder. So whoever put this together, the soundtrack probably wasn't even done. They probably didn't even know what rights of music they had at this point.
Sure.
Basically, like storyboard. We are now doing Tommy's Rise montage. Place music. So they probably just grabbed Vince, because it's actually 7 minutes long, which is actually longer. They loop it in this montage. It's looped. It doesn't really have the same song because it's 7 minutes long. So what I'm getting at is I think it's a placeholder. I like it, but you're right. How they just put going the distance. But then I would argue I think it's just too on the nose in the sense of that's Rocky's theme. That's maybe the one reason why.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Because this music, they've had both Drago and Rocky working out side by side.
Yeah.
So like it's associated with Drago a little bit. But at the end of the day, I think it's a placeholder. And they were working on the soundtrack. We were never going to avoid the 90s soundtrack. They were going to put that in. I just now wish, fine, put in the modern at the time music. That's fine. I just wish they kept this montage as is, because I think it just, I know what Kyle's saying. I don't disagree with his logic, but boy, it just answers so many questions. And it just focuses on Tommy and Rocky, which I'm sorry, I like that. I like they're showing the student and master montage now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know if we all are, but I feel like we're very picky about our music for Rocky, because we did not like them reusing Rocky 3 music in the director's cut of Rocky 4. We're like, no. But here I'm like, yes.
It's all taste, of course. Everyone's gonna have different opinions. There's no right opinion, because it's just whatever your flavor is. It's like saying you like chocolate, I like vanilla. Okay, enjoy what you enjoy. But it's tough. Yeah. We're just getting, let's turn down a little bit so we can talk over this a little bit. So Yeah, we're just seeing the fights are a little bit longer, so the sequences of the fights are longer, and I think they make more sense too as far as the timings go. But yeah, they're longer cuts of fights, which we're seeing more fighting of Tommy instead of the quick 2 seconds. We're seeing like 10 seconds of fighting.
How did you know Robert had already gotten his coat back?
Oh, I cut it out. So in the workers' print, after we saw Robert doing the one-handed push-ups and all that stuff, he got his jacket back.
Before this montage started.
That's right. In the workers' print. So right now in the workers' print timeline, Robert has his jacket.
Got it. Okay.
Then Tommy and Rocky watch the Union Cane fight. Then this whole sequence takes place.
However, we still get to the Christmas scene, which brings us back to the original 3-month timeline.
The Christmas scene does come after this montage. You're right. But what I'm saying is we can say, sure, it's Christmas 91 or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you mean 87? Because technically...
Okay, stop. We're done. We can't. I know, it's ridiculous. So again, you're just seeing longer fights, knockouts. So now we have the scene of Rocky tossing in a haphazard way Apollo's colors to Tommy. And we're going to get some dialogue here. And unlike the theatrical cut, we don't get that stupid edit of Adrian shaking her head in a weird way at Robert after the shorts are given. Remember there was that weird cut that they put in? So Adrian is seeing the newspaper, Rocky's boy bombs away. She's reading about her husband's student in the paper. And then we're going to go to the trunk scene here.
Interesting. There's another difference there. In the theatrical version, she puts it in the bird cage to capture the poop.
There might be another. There might be more than one paper reading scene, but yeah.
The dog's barking there. Even the dog.
Yeah, we got dogs barking.
Even I can see that this whole thing's going to end badly.
Yeah, those dogs know about those things. Yeah. Okay, I think we hear more dialogue about the trunks here. Right?
Apollo gave those to me, and I'm giving them to you. Hey, here you go.
So you earned it, I think is what he says. You earned them.
Yeah,
like
maybe
3 or 4 fights in.
I would say that trading for a bit and winning a few pro fights definitely earns you probably one of those famous pairs of boxing trunks ever. A piece of memorabilia that defined Rocky as a fighter. What the are you talking about?
I know.
You earned these.
I think it's literally, this is a terrible metaphor. This is like Rocky is a virgin. He's on his first date and he's getting handsy with his girlfriend. So he's just everything's just coming out so fast. Like, I got to grab that. I got to touch this. I got to go. He's just with Tommy. Here's your trunks. Here's what makes it. He's just too excited. Slow down. Let's do some foreplay. He's just too excited. He's old.
Okay, I have an analogy that might be slightly more appropriate for the edit.
Okay, sure.
We all know me. I'm all about keeping things above board and appropriate.
I appreciate that.
Katie, let's pretend it's a different universe and you and I are on a date.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And it's our second date. Oh. First date was just maybe a coffee date. And I'm like, hey, Katie, I was walking by this store. Here's a $10,000 pair of diamond earrings to wear.
Good point. It's way too much. Did we already talk about the fact that Apollo died in those and then Rocky somehow got him off his dead body to wear again?
We don't.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe they're like, I don't know.
Right?
They must have
dry cleaned him.
Coroner or whatever took off his trunks and got him into a suit.
But wouldn't his wife maybe want those?
Yes, exactly. Well, maybe, I think
Tony would she want the reminder of the clothing that her husband died in? I don't know. Who knows?
Good point.
I would feel like Tony would get those and then Tony would give it to Rocky. That would be the chain of custody.
Yeah, because he even shakes the shorts and says to Apollo.
Yeah. He's packing them. I think he's packing them in Rocky's bag, I think is the idea. Or Rocky stole them from Tony on the plane. Who knows?
Yeah.
There's much more black fighters at the beginning of this montage, Kyle, than the theatrical one.
It's all about equality. Rocky Ryan.
So we're seeing like Tommy fighting and George Washington says, I can get to Rocky now. That's in the montage.
What is he eating?
I'm not sure. This part here where Rocky puts the picture up of Tommy, I didn't recognize it was in the bar till the workers print. It's in the bar. So he's at
I thought it was in the basement.
Yeah, I did.
Good
too.
eye.
The work print edit clearly shows is they're celebrating Tommy's rise in Andy's bar. They put up Tommy's picture underneath the Rocky statue in the bar to indicate, Tommy's becoming a part of the town, part of the lore that Rocky's a part of. And Rocky's kind of giving his thumbs up. Hey, look, you're the new Rocky in town. People at Andy's bar cheered me in the first film. Now they're cheering for you in the fifth film.
It's too manufactured. You're trying to make it too much. Every bum thinks they have a legacy.
Oh, I just got maybe this is too corny. I don't know, but it just came to me. It's still heartbreaking when Rocky was talking to Robert and he says, Dad, what did it mean when like having me was being like born again? Because I see life through your eyes. Yeah. So he's talking about his son. He's excited to be a dad because he gets to see what it's like to be a kid again through his son's eyes, but he's forgotten that already because now he's seeing what it's like to be a rising boxer through Tommy's eyes. So it just caught on to me. That's another layer to this distraction from his kid, because he told his kid at the beginning of the film, having you is like being born again. And now he really is being born again through Tommy. It's like his love is with the wrong person for real now. Yeah.
I think too, because he was saying that he had a shitty childhood and Robert has all these cool things, and then he gets to relive a better version of his childhood through his son's eyes. But then that got flushed down the toilet. Now his son lives in his old neighborhood that he lived in. It's just decay. You can't live through your son's eyes anymore because you're just repeating your own childhood.
He's sleeping.
He has to live through Tommy's eyes now.
He's sleeping with Robert. Sleeping with Paulie.
Also, how we talked about for the director's cut, how the way that they cut the theatrical version it alluded to something different. Like the message that we received was different. For example, like how Rocky and Adrian left, things like that. This is the same scenario. This workers print versus the theatrical print, we're getting a different message. Even just these things, like we're like, oh, so it makes me want a director's cut of Rocky 5. But like you said, we aren't.
I know. Oh, we'll never get it.
Yeah.
We'll never get it. It'll never. Two reasons. One, because Sly was not officially the director, so he can't give the director's cut.
Or a Sly cut. Yeah.
The only thing they could do is they could, because it's a slap in John's face to call it the director's cut. So
don't call it the director's cut. Call it the Sylvester Stallone anniversary cut.
You know how much that film would fly off the shelves if they actually made a DVD of that? Mm-hmm. Seriously, it would sell. But
this is a better message. Like just even Adrian reading the paper versus putting it in the birdcage. There are just so many little things they cut the theatrical version in such a way to show us things that weren't actually true.
Yeah. You're right. The other reason why they won't do it is because Sly and his ego won't allow it. He has pretended to hate this film so much. The theatrical version, ironically, not the workers print. He hates. I give it 0 out of 10. Like, shut up, Sly. You're only saying that because your fans have maligned it. Mm-hmm. But over the years, the film has garnered. Put it this way: in 2025, the average Rocky fan likes this film more than they did in 1990. So this film has grown on fans in a positive way, where they want this to be redone. They're asking for it. But Sly has gone on record to say that he hates the film. And so he can't recut it because it's almost, in his mind, he thinks he's polishing a turd, which I don't think it is. There's the milk. Okay. So we'll start the next episode with part 2 of the montage, because there's actually little scenes, and then we'll get into whatever happens after the montage. I want to rush it because I think there's a couple of little nuggets. I was really excited about today. I don't know. Maybe you guys weren't as excited as I am. I hope you guys.
No, there was a ton of stuff that was new, so I liked it.
Yeah, it was all new. Mm-hmm. There was all those new scenes at the beginning, and I was just excited about the timeline issue being solved by the workers print, at least for Tommy's rise. I thought, oh man, there you go. They had it originally. They had that originally, that Robert got his jacket back, then Tommy did his rise in the ring.
They're probably like, something feels wrong with this film. There's the continuity is like too good.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but he didn't make a change. Like, this just feels better.
More in line with the Rocky universe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they still could have cut it. There was some fat still to be cut, but for example, that scene with Rocky on the stairs again, there's always stair scenes with Paulie. With Paulie in the dark. Yeah, that was great.
You and your stairs. Good call. Mm-hmm. You're right. Step. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this Rocky V coverage. I think we might be hitting 30 plus episodes when we get through it, but I'm really enjoying it, and I'm seeing scenes as I'm putting this Workers, because I actually haven't watched the Workers Print. I'm watching it for the first time as I edit for the podcast. I'm going through like bit by bit. So when this came up, and I was like, oh, I can't even do any of the theatrical cut because there's just too much here already. So the theatrical version does take over after this montage. That's when we finally get to the Christmas scene of Santa on the roof and Rantlers and 100 Proof Santa and all that stuff. Yeah. Okay. All right, so guys, that was a lot of fun. Remember, folks, give us a share, all that good stuff. Send us an email. We missed them, or at least leave us comments on YouTube. We appreciate your input. Andy, let us know where we went wrong again. With that, this episode is over.
I didn't hear no bell.
Whew.
I just want to say one